Sir, I'm gonna have to see some ID. Remember when Bulkhead showed up in animated and for a while he was the go-to lovable and clumsy demolition bot? The character was so big, in popularity I mean, that he continued to show up in Transformers Prime, but since then he sort of disappeared. As with the other generation's legacy figures based on the Prime Universe, or for him catching up with robots in disguise, their designs caused a bit of controversy with their redesign. Some say it's to G1ify, but it's likely to fit in with all the other generation's toys. That and of course repaints. I mean, look at the RC already. I know they said it's from the Prime Universe, and their explanation is that he was redesigned coming into the Legacy Universe, of which has no story at the moment, so who cares? But I don't know. Last I recall, he was a heavy off-road truck, like a distant cousin of the Ford Bronco. Instead, this is a 6-wheeled military transport truck that vibes much closer to the Transformers animated look.
Excuse me? It does say it right there on the box. It says Prime Universe. So before you have any hesitation, it says it right there.
I don't know. The specific features of the alt mode seem to be inspired by his animated form, which I covered in my review.
I'm sorry. Would Hasbro lie to us?
I think it's possible.
Okay, I think I've got it. I think using Prime Universe is a suggestion more than anything. I think this is more of a roundabout bulkhead that refers to multiple designs, but only to create an amalgamation for his new standard generation's look. Kind of like Classics Prime at its time. It's not technically G1ified, it's Generations-ified. Much like the Lugnut before it, though that released on the heels of animated's relevance. The repaint of him even looks more like the Mudbuster animated toy, and it even feels like a nod to when the movies called it Hound. I think Prime was specifically called out because they were also doing RC and Knockout. As much as I would love to just get the same Bulkhead I remember, I think we're forgetting we were all kind of curious what Bulkhead would look like in a Generations toy, even if what we got was just Road Hauler. But focusing on Bulkhead, I think this is a lovely choice. Having him be this cargo truck just fits his heavy lifting personality, which I didn't think could be a personality. Check out how the tarp flows by the mold. The attention always fascinates me. They even used it to their advantage. Uncovering it shows multiple ports for weapon storage. Yeah, the feet are there, but we've seen worse. Plus, with the mace, I wonder what blast effects I can use on it. That's not all. There's portholes on the top, side, on the wheels weirdly enough, and wait, those are specifically designed as minicon ports. And Starscream has no minicon ports because... what? I'm waiting, Hasbro. Aside from the gap showing the leg, everything seems to flow smoothly to create this brick. I love the canisters on the side just to add some needed detail, and my favorite has to be the spare wheels hidden inside. Usually Bulkhead's original design had some angles going on, but I love this block at the front. The large windows, the black outlines, all the little touches like the mirror and the toe. It all feels like it has a purpose, and you can lift it to munch on stuff. Rolls pretty well, I'm just not into the black panel on top that sort of breaks it up. Either way, the alt form seems to fit his character pretty well. The details are sharp and defined for just a box of a truck. Robot mode. Check, 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 check. Like I said, Bulkhead went through an imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus change where his design fits with everything else. But this more generalized shape has its merits. For one, I don't think anyone's gonna fight me if I bring in the rest of the crew from animated, then swap Prowl for RC. The transformation has some hitches, like how the arms come up, and I always forget to flip the spare wheels properly, but I love the cans flipping into the legs, and the tarp that can stay attached with no issue. You can even open it up further if you want. Now for some other things I like. They tried to mix in different shades of green, which actually complements it. I like the rounded thighs, giving them some Transformers Prime vibe. I love the spare wheels tucked behind, again like the Prime design. I like the painted knees, and he certainly has a tough guy appeal. While I get Bulkhead needs to be, well, bulky, I don't know how I feel about the torso. Not because he looks like another grapple, but because the lower body doesn't sit well. The waist seems to imply this is a facade, making him more like a box troll. The head's more squared off at the jaw, but no matter how you feel, that's certainly Bulkhead. His stern eyes make him look like he's ready to bash something, and it fits pretty much every note while adapting to the design scheme. Did someone say, articulation? Ball jointed head, shoulders out and in, forward to back rotation below, elbow bend, wrist rotation, waist rotation, hips out and in, forward to back rotation below, knee bend, foot forward, back and tilt. Posability feels both standard and really good with no loose joints anywhere, though the elbows feel a bit too tight, so I hope it doesn't stress anything. But he does stand out, especially going against the Lugnut figure. Let's take a look at the accessories. He includes the classic mace. That's also a porthole adapter for blasts and other weapons. It opens up, covers the hand, and closes, acting like the original and iconic Prime Show's mace.
Hey, Bulkhead. Smash.
He also comes with a minigun, and I mean mini. It's in that Energon powered like plastic like some other select accessories, but with a few paint apps. It's fine on its own, it's designed well, there's portholes on the side, and you can add it to the shoulder. That is, if the peg doesn't pop out. That's not all. Seemingly based on Takara's movie The Best Hound, the tarp comes off and forms a riot shield. It can plug into the side of the arm with a gap on top so it can view. I like how big and wide it is, considering it has a lot of bot to protect. I just don't know which side is the front. There's portholes on the feet, side of the legs, wheels, hands, 2 on each arm, and 1 on the back even with the tarp. Plus, you could take all the weapons and combine it to make a forward-facing shielded turret. It's like the gun from Halo, with a bigger shield and smaller gun. I was a bit off-put hearing Prime adapted into the line from original perception to how it's integrated, but I think Bulkhead gets away with it because he was never adapted to begin with, and many of us were curious about this design. If anything, he might be a little bland, but I guess that comes from squaring off the character and not putting him in a new show's theme. I would prefer a better flow of the torso, but aside from that, it's tough, sturdy, and green, like he should be. Who said going green was friendly?